I can't even begin to tell you how glad I am that intimate partner violence is getting more attention and people are becoming more aware of what it actually looks like. But still, I hear one question more times than I can count on one hand. And not knowing this has serious implications for anyone who is currently experiencing this or is trying to avoid it. And that question is it abuse if they don't hit me? This is a question people in these relationships whisper to themselves, sometimes for years. And they wonder if what they experienced counts because the common image of abuse is bruises, black eyes, or physical violence. And because they didn't experience that, they second guess themselves, doubt their instincts, and carry a secret shame that nobody else sees. The truth is that abuse is not only about hitting. Abuse is about power, control, and the systematic erosion of your autonomy and your safety. It's about the ways one person manipulates, intimidates, isolates, or coerces another over time. Research across psychology, sociology, and trauma studies has repeatedly shown that non-physical abuse can be just as damaging, and sometimes even more so than physical violence. Emotional abuse, coercive control, manipulation, and verbal harm all leave lasting imprints on the nervous system, on attachment, and on self-perception. Now think about a partner who subtly dictates your daily life. They tell you who you can see, what you can wear, or how you should feel. But it doesn't sound like they're forcing you. It sounds more like, I don't think that friend is good for you, or are you really wearing that? I'm not going to be with you, so who are you trying to impress? And you don't have any right to feel that way because that wasn't my intention. They use shame, ridicule, or silent withdrawal to control your behavior. You might find yourself apologizing constantly, walking on eggshells, or doubting your own memory and judgment. That's abuse. Even without a physical strike, your autonomy is being violated. Your nervous system experiences threat just as it would if you were facing physical harm. Research on coercive control makes this very clear. Coercive control is defined as a pattern of behavior designed to dominate, isolate, and restrict a person's freedom, often through fear, intimidation, or manipulation. Studies consistently show that people in these relationships experience trauma symptoms similar to survivors of physical abuse: hypervigilance, anxiety, dissociation, sleep disturbances, and difficulty trusting others, as well as themselves. Intermittent reinforcement, which is the alternation of kindness and harm, strengthens attachment to the abuser, keeping the victim tied to them even when they consciously know the behavior is harmful. Imagine a partner who constantly critiques, belittles, or invalidates your feelings. One day they apologize or show affection, creating a brief moment of relief. Your body releases a little tension, your brain registers connection, and hope flickers. The next day, they withdraw, shame you, or escalate anger. Dopamine spikes in the moments of relief, while cortisol remains elevated in the background. Over time, your system associates attachment with unpredictability and urgency, not safety. This is why people feel bound to someone who didn't hit them, but consistently harmed them. Abuse can also show up in financial control, social isolation, or the threat of harm or abandonment. One partner may insist they control the money, make all decisions, or prevent you from pursuing education or friendships. Even without a slap or a shove, your freedom is constrained, your agency is compromised, and your nervous system registers threat. These patterns are recognized in research on intimate partner violence as psychologically abusive behavior. And the long-term effects can include depression, PTSD, chronic anxiety, and complex trauma. A key point here is that abuse is relational, not just physical. It's about how one person exercises power over another in ways that diminish safety, autonomy, and dignity. You don't have to have a bruise to know your boundaries were crossed. Your feelings, your instincts, and your distress are valid signals that something is wrong. Maybe you might have had a partner who made you constantly second-guess yourself. You might have walked on eggshells to avoid anger, hidden your emotions, or apologized for things you didn't do. You might have been gaslit, told that you were too sensitive, or that your memory of events was wrong. These experiences create a constant state of hypervigilance. Your nervous system learned to anticipate danger in even neutral interactions. That's trauma. That's abuse. That's real. Research on emotional abuse and coercive control emphasizes the lasting impact of these behaviors. Victims often experience relational difficulties long after the relationship ends. They struggle to trust their own judgment and carry a heightened stress response for years. Trauma bonding ensures that leaving can feel disorienting or even frightening because the nervous system has learned to seek relief in the intermittent kindness from the abuser. It can't come from anyone else. It wouldn't have the same effect. It's also important to recognize that abuse is cumulative. One belittling comment, one act of control, one instance of gaslighting may not feel catastrophic on its own, but over months or years, these behaviors form a pattern that undermines self-esteem, erodes autonomy, and leaves deep neurobiological traces. That's why so many people ask this question quietly. Is it abuse if they didn't hit me? Because it didn't feel as obvious, but the damage was just as real. So if you notice any of these things, don't dismiss it. Chalk it up. If the relationship feels safe, address it. Then watch for accountability, which is apology with changed behavior. If that doesn't come and the pattern continues, that's abuse, and it only worsens over time. Your gut's not wrong. Healing begins with naming the experience. It begins with understanding that abuse is about control and impact, not visible injury. It begins with recognizing how your nervous system adapted, how you survived, and how attachment was shaped by unpredictability rather than choice. You're not imagining it, you're not weak, you're not overreacting. You were navigating a system designed to keep you off balance, to create dependency, and to maintain control. Boundaries, regulation, and support are the paths forward. Consistent routines, safe environments, and relationships that respect autonomy all teach the nervous system something new. Connection does not have to be paired with fear. Care does not require sacrifice, and safety can be sustained. Over time, with awareness and support, the body and mind can recalibrate to reality and trust itself again. So to answer the question plainly, yes, it's abuse. You don't need a bruise to know that your boundaries were violated, your autonomy was undermined, and your nervous system experienced threat. Your experience is valid, and your safety and healing matter.